All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back for another 2 o'clock Facebook Live with us at the Aquarium of Niagara. Now we have a really fun session for you today. We're going to be talking about our penguin colony. Before we get into that, though, I want to remind you all that we miss you very much. We want to see your memories, so post some photos on social media, #IMissMyAquarium. If you have yet to make any memories here, though, don't forget we are accepting donations so that we can come open to you once more when everything returns back to normal. Now, before we get inside of the exhibit, I want to introduce one of my co-workers here. This is Abby. She is one of my fellow penguin keepers as well, and we have a big bucket of fish for our penguins to enjoy for their afternoon diet. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Humboldt penguins in their natural habitat, some of the challenges they face, but before we get into that, let's get into the exhibit. Welcome to Penguin Coast. So Abby's going to get situated here on the beach. And of course, Abby has been working with penguins for a good number of years. I don't know the number off the top of my head, Abby.
It's about 5 years now.
5 years, yeah. Not just with our penguins here, but she's been to Africa. She has been working with a variety of penguin species, not just Humboldts. So she certainly has a great well of knowledge too to add to our conversation today. But we are checking out our Humboldt penguin population. We can see here, we have Blue diving into the water, Blanca getting out of the water here. In total, we have 14 Humboldt penguins in our colony, and they are ambassadors for their species. Now, a lot of people think that penguins live exclusively in really cold areas of the world, like Antarctica. There are penguins that do live in Antarctica, but most penguins live where it's pretty warm. All penguins are going to be found below the equator. So you can find penguins living in places like Australia, Africa, New Zealand. The Humboldt penguin, though, is the one that we're going to be focusing on today. And their native habitat is around the coast of Peru and Chile, and that's located in South America. So, of course, you can see Abby here feeding Humboldt penguins, and we might know what they eat. We're pretty familiar. Humboldt penguins love to eat fish. They are carnivores. They like to eat meat. Here we provide them an ample amount of fish every single day. They have the opportunity to eat quite a few times throughout our day with them. But Abby, is this the case for Humboldt penguins in their natural habitat? Do they get food all the time, every day out there?
No, so Humboldt penguins in their natural habitat are excellent hunters. They are able to chase down and catch fish in the open ocean, but that relies on there being an ample supply of fish. They need about 10% of their body weight in fish per day. So for these guys, it's anywhere from maybe half a pound to a pound and a half of fish per day. And what's actually happening out in their natural habitat is one of the challenges that they're facing is overfishing. So obviously, humans are large fans of seafood as well. I myself love me some salmon, some shrimp, other types of seafood. It's great. But what's happening is that as humans are consuming seafood, we're actually out-competing not only penguins, but a lot of other animals that rely on that fish as their main source of food. We're much more efficient hunters than they are with nets and things like that. We can take pounds and pounds of fish out of the ocean all in one go. So it's probably quite a challenge for Humboldt penguins and other animals as well, because there's just simply not enough food left in the oceans for them.
Definitely. That's something that you yourself can help out with if you happen to be a seafood lover. A lot of people are really surprised to hear that Abby and myself are big lovers of sushi and seafood in general, but there are smart ways to eat seafood without bringing harm to animals like penguins or even seals or sea lions. You can make sure that all of the seafood you eat is sustainable, and you can do that with a helpful tool called the Seafood Watch app that was designed by the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and it's certainly worth the download. It is free, it is easy to use, and again, that's called the Seafood Watch app. Simply even just diversifying the type of seafood you eat. If we're all eating tuna, if we're all eating salmon, that's a whole bunch of people just eating only 2 kinds of fish. So if you branch out and try new seafoods, try new experiences,
here named Nino. He's one of our newer additions to the colony after those El Nino Southern Oscillation events. And that's a whole lot of words, which just means that periodically, every couple of years, the winds in the southern half of our ocean change the way that they blow. So maybe the winds die down a little bit. What those winds are really important for is driving ocean currents. So these penguins rely very heavily on the Humboldt current to bring them those fish populations that they need. But the Humboldt current is an upwelling current. So it is cold, nutrient-rich water coming up from the bottom of the ocean up to the surface, where it can interact with the light, have some photosynthesis going on, and support large populations of plankton and the fish that these penguins rely on. But during those El Nino events, the winds stopping their normal patterns actually reduces that current. So there's less plankton for the fish to eat, and there's less fish for the penguins to eat. So what's happening now is that we're seeing those El Nino events become more frequent, whereas once upon a time they may have happened every 7 or 8 years. We're starting to see them happen every 4 or 5 years, and they can dramatically impact penguin populations. During, they believe, the El Nino event in 1982, the Humboldt penguin population globally decreased by about 60% in the course of a single year because their food source basically disappeared, and the penguins couldn't find enough food to sustain themselves. So it is a huge problem, and it's something that's pretty heavily impacting this species of penguin.
So let's get off the topic of fish. We've been talking about fish for a little bit. I want to talk about their poop. And that might seem pretty strange to you folks at home that I want to talk about penguin poop. Let's break it down a little bit though. Penguin poop is very special. It's actually called guano. And since these guys are birds, they do build nests to lay their eggs in when it comes time for that. But their nests are not made out of mud and twigs and leaves like a robin up in a tree would build. These guys live along very rocky coastlines where there's lots of pebbles and rocks. And what they do is they gather all of those up together and they actually poop and accumulate their guano on those rocks, and they dig down into it. And it's gonna make a really soft area for them to lay their eggs, and that's their nest. But farmers out in South America figured out that their guano makes excellent fertilizer. That means it helps their plants grow really fast. So they started to harvest this guano. And without their guano, they have nowhere to lay their eggs. And without their eggs, they have no more penguins helping with the population. That population stops growing when there's no more eggs being laid. This, in addition to having a hard time finding fish, whether it is because a lot of people are taking anchovies and sardines out of the ocean, or because it might be an El Nino summer, they are facing quite a bit of challenges out there. So, Abby, what is the status of the Humboldt penguin in their natural habitat with all of these challenges that they're facing?
So the Humboldt penguin is listed as a vulnerable species by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, which means that they're not quite endangered, but their populations have been declining over the last several decades. With that status sort of comes, increased awareness of some of the challenges that they're facing. They are, still on the decline, but it also has some hope. They aren't quite yet an endangered species, so if we are able to address some of those issues that they're facing in their natural habitat, we could quite easily start to see those populations rebounding again if given the chance.
Yeah. The great thing about these problems, as weird as that might sound, the great thing about it is that most of them are human-driven. And that means that humans can be the solution, like we were talking about with the Seafood Watch app. If you download that on your phone, it's free, and it's so easy to use to make sure that you're eating sustainable seafood. You can always reduce, reuse, recycle, especially as you're spending maybe some more time inside than you normally would. You might find a nice little project to work on where you can find a way to repurpose some of the material around your house that you've been using, or just find ways to cut down on expenses altogether. Anything that we can reduce the amount of stuff that we're buying can certainly help animals all over the world. But there is more to be done. So here at the Aquarium of Niagara, we are an AZA accredited facility, and that means that we are a part of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. And with that special accreditation, we are able to participate in the species survival program for Humboldt penguins. So Abby, can you talk a little bit more about that species survival program?
Yeah, so it is a AZA program that basically is aimed to conserve the populations under human care. So what it is at its heart is a breeding program based on genetics. So there is a set number of animals under human care of the Humboldt penguin species, and these animals not only are ambassadors for their species here, but they're also sort of a genetic safety net. So as we've already discussed, Humboldt penguins are a vulnerable species. If their numbers continue to decline in their natural habitat, having penguins here under human care can not only help to educate people like yourselves watching this video a little bit more about the challenges that they're facing, but it can also serve as a backup population. So in the event that these numbers continue to decline, if they ever were to reach critical levels, having penguins under our care that are genetically diverse, that are a healthy population, could help us to undergo reintroduction efforts like we've seen here in North America with the California condor, the American black-footed ferret, and other species like those that have rebounded and been reintroduced to their native habitat thanks to programs like species survival plans. So it's something we're really proud to participate in here, and we're, again, proud to be a part of that plan and to help sort of safeguard the future of this species in the wild and here under human care.
That's something that we are certainly proud to be a part of. We are really excited to be participating in it. But like we said, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do at home too. You can make sure that you're reducing, reusing, recycling, eating sustainable seafood, and even tuning into our live presentations just like this, keeping yourself informed. It's a great way to help out animals in their natural habitat, because we only really protect what we love, and we only love what we know, and we only know what we're taught. So by coming here, spending some time with us, hopefully we can cultivate a lot of love. You can help us protect animals just like Humboldt penguins. Now, I don't want to get on to our next topic, and I don't want to sign off too early without asking if there's any questions that we have. No? That's okay. We still appreciate you watching and hanging out with us for sure. Abby, before we sign off, is there anything you might want to add? I know we talked a lot about penguins and a whole bunch of in and outs about them today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I really sort of want to hammer home what you mentioned earlier about, a lot of the challenge that these penguins are facing, and a lot of other animals in their natural habitats as well, are human caused, which is great because we have the option to be able to change our behavior to help alleviate those issues rather than continue to contribute to them. So really, it might seem, some of these changes, like a very small and insignificant thing. What is one person bringing reusable bags to the store? What is one person, eating sustainable seafood? But one person plus one person plus one person makes a whole lot of people, and we can have meaningful effects just by changing the choices that we make in our day-to-day lives to help conserve the wildlife on our planet, like these Humboldt penguins, like all of the other amazing animals that call this aquarium home. So take this step today, make one of those small little changes, even as simple as, trying to drive less, carpooling, walking to work or to the store. These things do all add up, and they can make a big difference in our environment.
All right, guys. Again, I want to thank you so much for joining us here. Don't forget, we want to see those memories. We're still here every day caring for our animals, but we miss our community very much. Post your memories on any social media platform that you prefer. Hashtag I miss my aquarium. If you have yet to make memories yourself, we are accepting donations. Just visit our website, aquariumofniagara.org. You can make your donation there, or even get some fun activities to go along with our daily live videos every day. But we want to thank you very much for being there. We're still here. We'll be back at 2 tomorrow, so we'll see you guys then.